What is going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. So I am in the process of doing a wide angle kit on my SC300. What I wanted to do in this video though is, since I'm taking the hubs off of both the driver and passenger side, I wanted to kind of go over a big difference in brake upgrades that you can do on the SC300. I do see a lot of people going for the LS400 Big Brake Upgrade Kit, which is not the wrong way to go. Some people say it's cheaper to go that route, and some people say that it's more readily available, and it is a straight bolt-on just like these ones right here. So if you guys aren't familiar with this brake caliper, this is the Mark IV Toyota Supra twin turbo. These are the corresponding rotors. They're not Jordan slotted. A lot of people do go for Jordan slotted, and there's a big misconception about Jordan slotted versus not Jordan slotted. And the best way I can explain it is, actually it's probably better just to get the normal rotors, and the reason why is because these actually have vents. So they do have fins, and these fins are extremely important because on these rotors there is a right and a left, so you can install them wrong. It should say on the back, like right around this area, on the back of the rotor, it should say which side it's on. The reason why it's labeled is because these fins, they actually are curved in a way that when the air goes through them, it can cool down the rotor. Jordan slotted did the same thing, or does the same thing. It basically tries to dissipate the heat as quick as possible because the air goes into the slots and will actually cool it down. However, this is probably the best way to cool a rotor. It comes stock. Rotors you get from the auto parts store, or rotors that you get from more performance orientated businesses out there. So I actually do have a LS400 brake caliper. I'll show you the differences and basically tell you what is the benefit and what is the cons of each one, so that you can decide which one you want to go with. Okay, so here are the two rotors. As far as sizing goes, they are very similar. From one end to the other, it is 9.5 to 10 inches. On the SUPRA one, they are about the same. Okay, so they're basically the same, which is a cool thing to note because they have very similar designs, and as far as like the looks of them, I personally like the SUPRA ones, just because for me, they just look cooler. The reason why I would recommend going with these ones instead of these ones, and this is really only if you're tracking the car or back roads where you're applying the brakes heavily, doing like canyon runs where you're stopping a lot and then going and stopping and going, any kind of spiritual driving that you need quick and responsive brake force, is because these calipers are meant more towards quick and slow down in an instant. These are going to provide the quick and responsive braking power that you need. They also don't overheat as much with the LS400 ones, and don't take this as me dogging on the LS400 brake calipers. They look great, and their performance is on these are very similar to these. Like these two, no matter which way you go, you're going to be better than stock. Let me just tell you that. Both of these options, because they are 4 pistons each, they have pins. Both of these are fixed calipers. Any fixed caliper is going to be better than a floating caliper. For me though, the LS400 was meant to stop a heavy vehicle. That's basically what it was meant for. So I would recommend an LS400 caliper brake upgrade for VIP vehicles, for vehicles that are slammed, have big, nice 3-piece deep dish wheels, you know, coloring these and just making them look stylish, because in my honest opinion, these are more stylish than these. It's not really a these are better than these or these are better than these. It's more of these are meant for quick responsive braking power where it's not going to fade and you're not going to have your brake pedal to get soft on you, if that makes sense. I have not had any experience with the LS400 brake caliper. However, I have numerous friends that actually run these on their Toyota Supra. Usually they're automatic Toyota Supra they've manual swapped and turboed, because you know that's kind of just the way to go nowadays. But I have a lot of friends that run this one. Personally, the reason why I wanted to run the Toyota Supra twin turbo brake calipers is, one, because you know it's basically a luxury Supra, so I wanted to have, you know, the right Supra parts on a Supra chassis. Also, I was doing a lot of research and I found out that I could get these for super cheap. They're silver, they're not painted, they look OEM on this vehicle, and for me, like, it was these or bust. Like, I was gonna get these calipers or I wasn't gonna do the brake upgrade at all. I have both of these calipers here. Why not show you guys and explain to you guys what the difference is, because some people don't know, and the people that do know, like, they don't want to take the time to explain to others what the difference is. This is such a big misunderstanding, to the point where people are like, oh, well, these are better than these and these are better than these. So I'm here to bring more light to the debate, kind of help others understand that these are basically two styles. You have the VIP, very, very like detailed, like this looks really cool. For me, I love the way that these LS400 brake calipers look, and every single time I see them on a build, they pop, and you know, they give that aesthetically pleasing look to the car, which I think is awesome. And they still maintain like the same function that these do. They're not meant to be used on very, very, very rigorous, you know, track or back road like canyon runs, because these will brake fade sooner, because they're meant to stop a bigger vehicle. They're not meant to have a high horsepower car that they're trying to instantly stop repetitively. So that's why I went with these ones. So far, I mean, I've been using them for a year. Let's actually check the pad health. As you can see by that line right there in the middle, these pads still have plenty of life. I mean, I take this car to the track, I put the brake through a good amount of stress, and the fact that they not only are holding up so well, they look like I just put them on there. Like this finish is awesome. I love how it looks. I love how it shines and has that like clear coat look, because these ones are very dull right out of the box. I mean, you can paint them, clear coat them, and all that stuff, which people are going to do anyways, but I love how these look so OEM. And with my wheel, you can't really tell that they are an upgrade unless you get in the car and I'm stopping, and this makes the car stop on a dime. I will be doing the same to the rear. It's about time that I have the front and rear do the same amount. The fronts do most of the braking, which is why I wanted to just do the fronts right now, because the fronts do about 80% of the braking, because your engine is in the front of the car. It's the most weight that's on the car. The rears don't have to do as much. That's why the rear calipers are a lot smaller. However, a 2-piston caliper is way better than what the rear has on it right now. And when I start going like to actual events and start really trying to get on people's doors and whatever it may be, I definitely want to have that braking power, so that, you know, it could be the difference between running into someone or not having a single scratch or ding on this car, which is obviously, you know, the main goal. So that is going to be the main differences between these two. The LS400 is meant for a V8 heavy car to slow it down, but it's not meant for, you know, quick repetitive stops that you need to make sure you're turning in, or you're trying to stop from doing a pull or whatever it is. These are more aimed towards the VIP slash car show slash meet type of build, because they're gonna look nice and they're still gonna work just fine. They're still gonna stop the car just as they should. However, they aren't really veered towards the high horsepowered vehicles that, like, once you do a pull you need to slow down. That's why I went with these calipers, and so far they've been amazing. I don't think I have any like video or anything of me driving and stopping with these because it is so sudden. But what I'll probably do is, once the car is back up and running, I will do a test and show you guys how fast this thing stops, because I mean, it's crazy. When I go into other cars and I'm, you know, braking or I'm pressing the brake in other cars, I'm so used to this car that I've actually been late to braking, if that makes sense. Like this caliper makes you so late to braking because you know it's going to stop your car on a dime, that when I go to other cars and drive other cars that don't have any kind of performance caliper setup, it just makes the car feel like it's never going to slow down, which is kind of scary. Also, real quick, I want to mention to you guys why I think a brake caliper upgrade kit is extremely important, as far as why. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to do it because everyone else is doing it. I want to make it look cool. I want to make it aesthetically pleasing, all of that kind of stuff. To me, yes, if you do that, nothing against you. You know, like, everyone has their own opinion and everyone has their own style. However, for me, the reason why I wanted to make sure it was a Toyota Supra brake caliper upgrade is because I need to make sure that I can trust my car. When I say that, I mean when I'm on track, hitting the straight and about to, you know, initiate the drift. I've seen cars go into barriers because they aren't able to stop as quick, or, you know, their braking system's not the best. And that's the reason why a lot of track drivers end up going big brake upgrade kit, whether it's the Nissan 350Z Brembo kit or the R32 caliper kit for the S chassis, or whatever the caliper kit may be for the brake upgrade. I think that is probably the most important upgrade you can do, because you can have all the go you want, but if you can't stop, all of that go is kind of useless. You're not going to trust the car to go that fast to not be able to stop. That was a huge thing for me, like, when I was thinking about what I wanted to do first, because as soon as I got this car, I had already done a lot of research about what the motor can do, JZ, like, that, you know, there's so much information about that online that, you know, you didn't have to think about that part too hard. However, when it comes to the calipers or the braking and the suspension, all that kind of stuff, you kind of have to look a little bit deeper. And so for me, finding out that the Supra twin turbo brake caliper kit fit to this car, it was instant, I'm gonna do it. I was looking at LS400 calipers, trying to find them at the junkyard for a while, because I didn't know I could actually buy these calipers for so inexpensive, get them in a few days and not have to order them. I found them online for a ridiculously good price. I think I got them for 120 bucks each with like a $40 core, so it came out to like 250, 300 bucks. And then the rotors and pads, I got them from the local auto store here, and those cost me, I think, 120 bucks for the package, for the pads and rotors. So basically, I got the whole package for 400 bucks, which a lot of people get the LS400 caliper kit or the caliper upgrade for that much. I believe the rears are actually more expensive, which for the actual caliper, not even for the rotor and the pads, which I think is completely ridiculous. But oh well, I mean, with that information, you can kind of take it as you want and like decide which setup you want to go with, if that makes sense. Just remember, both of them do the exact same thing. The only difference is the LS400 calipers are meant to slow a big heavy car down, because obviously the front momentum of you going and you just cruising and stopping, you know, it needs a beefy caliper. Also aesthetically pleasing for the LS400 caliper kit, I would recommend VIP air ride slammed cars that, you know, are, you know, you still want to drive spiritually, but you're more driving, you know, with friends and cruises instead of, you know, actually driving, you know, in the canyons by yourself, trying to improve on, you know, either a personal time or going to the track in general. Or if you're going to do any spiritual driving where you need instant response, you're constantly on the brake every, you know, few minutes or whatever, I would definitely recommend the SUPRA twin turbo upgrade kit. Both are bolt-on. Both of them, you can get the rotors and pads for deals anywhere you go, and I believe both the rotors have the fins in them so that there is better cooling, and the hydraulic lines fit both of them OEM. So you don't have to worry about fitment, you don't have to worry about any of that. The one thing I will say though, and I think this is the biggest difference between the two, is that if you go LS400 brake caliper kit, you can run 17, 18, 19, whatever wheel. If you go for the SUPRA twin turbo brake caliper kit, the minimum wheel you can run is an 18. So I have Lexus IS 250 wheels. I believe they're 18 by 8 all around, and I forgot what the offset is. I'll look it up and I'll put it on screen for you guys. But these wheels are one of my favorite wheels other than the IS300 F Sport wheels. Those are like my most coveted wheels for me. But these wheels barely fit these calipers, and I'm talking like that much. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys learned something. If you guys want to ask me any kind of questions about either setup or either caliper, drop it down below in the comment section. I'll actually drop a link to where you can get the LS400 caliper kit and the Toyota SUPRA caliper kit, so you guys can go and check both those things out. Go ahead and upgrade them if you are wanting to do that. I know for me this was like the first upgrade I had to do, but some people are a little bit more cautious about doing any kind of upgrade that they're not familiar with. So I'm hoping that this video helps you guys decide which one you want to go with, because it is plug and play. The mounts are exactly the same. The mounting bolts that hold in the caliper, the OEM caliper, you can use those for either caliper, and then the actual hose, I'm actually using the stock one, and it fits right in there like OEM. The only thing that I did change though was I took the bleeder screw out from the calipers when they arrived to me, and I put the OEM ones into them. The thread pitch is the same. The only difference, I think the one that it came with was like an 11 and the stock one was an 8. I wanted to make sure that it was a size that I had. I don't have any 11 wrenches, and if I do, I've never used them, so I'd rather have everything be the same, you know, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I'd rather have all of the sizes in that group so I know exactly what sizes to bring, because the last thing I want to do is have something go down at the track or while I'm driving it just regularly where I have to pop the bleeder and I don't have the right size because I didn't switch that out. So that's the only thing I switched out. Everything else is completely stock. With that being said, thank you guys again for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment if you guys haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Never forget, guys, always stay positive and stay true to who you are. Until next time, guys, shoots!